Endowment Act by democratic means. Here, I'd like to invite you today on behalf of the Rama Hindu Temple of Greater Chicago, Dr. Vallathur Maniratnam Memorial Lecture Series, the first section. And I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to leave that to President of the temple. First I would like to invite President of the temple, Gopal Srinivasan here. Next is Dr. Krishna Reddy here. So Dr. Chandrasekhar Reddy, please come up here. Next, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, our keynote speaker today. So we have someone ready to pray.
Mrs. Vijay Krishnan and Mrs. Rukmini will start with the prayer. Dr. Krishna Reddy just arrived here. I would like to come, Dr. Krishna Reddy, come up here.
I would like to welcome all of you, first lecture of the Muniratnam, Valathur Muniratnam Memorial Lecture Series inauguration. And Muniratnam, I knew him 30 years ago, and we worked in many, at the time of the original temple, when we were building the temple and all this stuff. But he has served great service to the temple and to the community. Now, so this is, we are really honored Dr. Swami could be here for a keynote speech. And Dr. Swami is making tremendous waves all over India with his different causes, fighting for the different causes. First we will do that Light the Lamp by Dr. Subramanian Swami. Now we have a welcome address by Dr. Gopal Swami Srinivasan, Gopal Srinivasan, and he's going to welcome all the audience and
Good evening. You can see the excitement. It's a very special day for several reasons. Fast is important, and Dr. Valathur Muniratnam has been a wonderful person. Many of us know him extremely well during his services to the temple and the community. Then we have a special speaker, Dr. Subramanian Swami, to take us into the future. It's a perfect moment. The present is merging, past, present, and the future. We couldn't ask for anything more than that. As you could see the audience, I see a lot of young people, and that is exciting for us to have young people come and listen and get a perspective. I'm going to invite Dr. Krishna Reddy to talk about Dr. Muniratnam first, then we'll see what the events for the day.
Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Swami, President of Hindu Temple, Dr. Srinivasan, and all of you, also Dr. Muniratnam family. Dr. Chandra Reddy, I must really commend his efforts in bringing all of us here together. Dr. Chandra Reddy is a founding member of this temple. Way back in 1977 onwards, he is involved. So is Dr. Muniratnam Valathur and his family. Some of us, few of our friends and some of us met in the University of Illinois. At that time, Dr. Muniratnam was there also. And we thought, see who will be staying here, who will be going back. But majority of them raised their hands that they will be staying here. So that is how we thought of having a temple. There were no temples at that time, except Vivekananda Society. So in 1981, when they bought the site, Dr. Muniratnam was part of the building committee, and he was also helping in searching the site. They found a lot of sites, but this is the best site that they were able to come up with. And under the chairmanship of Dr. Katamanchi Umapati Reddy, Dr. Muniratnam worked with him, and they found the site. And so now we can see how it is. In 1981, they did a Bhumi Puja, and later on there were some setbacks for us. We couldn't get the permits. Dr. Muniratnam was a great volunteer. In 1983, I was in the board, and then we didn't know what to do. We had a temporary manufacturing site, one place in Downers Grove. BC Nair owned that one. In that one, we had this Ganapati Swami, we had Ganapati statue, which we got from India, and also one we got from Shivaya Subramanian Swami from Hawaii. Dr. Muniratnam Valathur was volunteer, helping in the activities, not only cultural but religious also. From then onwards, within few months, the Downers Grove city said, you don't have permit to do religious work here, so they closed us. So then we didn't have any place to go. So we searched all over. 1984, when I became a president of this temple, it is an honor for me, because nobody wanted the presidency at that time. So that's how it ended up with me. So we searched for the land. Actually, this land, everybody thought it is a white elephant. We will not be able to develop it. So we even went around, saw several places where Dr. Muniratnam and other committee members helped us. And finally, we located a place in Romeoville, where we had the statue. We had a lease for 84 April to December, and then we had volunteers going. These priest families and Muniratnam Valathur, they all go every week evening, and also Sunday 3 hours. They open Ganesh, and we have the pujas and other activities in the outside halls. So 84. Then we thought we want to bring the community more public awareness that this project is alive and it's going on. So we began meeting in Dr. Chandra Reddy's basement, where we had several board meetings, and we revised the constitution. And then we had a groundbreaking ceremony in June of 1984, June 17th or something like that. And we had the chief guest, N.T. Ramarao from Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and several dignitaries were there too. So Dr. Muniratnam worked with the several committee members. He is so fond of maintenance committee. That is the thing that he always interested. He wants to serve the devotees, and by serving the devotees, he wants to reach the God. Manav Seva, Madhava Seva, he really made it true in our temple history. And following that one, we had fortunately gotten all the permits. We started the Ganesh Mandir with $70,000 funds we had, and even that was very difficult to raise in those years. We were able to accomplish that, and in January of 1985, we opened the Ganesh Mandir, but then embarked on the Rama temple construction in the same year, and it ended in 1986, Kumbhabhishekam. It is a 10-day ceremony. Dr. Muniratnam joined several committees. When Dr. Muniratnam comes to the temple, he doesn't come alone. His family is always there. Prasadam committee, his spouse will help, children will help in the reception area, greeting the devotees, and Dr. Muniratnam helps not only devotees, but even the priests, Garbhagudi and everywhere. He is the only one I know that we had the privileges to enter the Garbhagudi along with the priests and perform all the ceremonies. He is in the parking lot, he is in the reception area. He always wants to greet the devotees with compassion and devotion, and he never let that go throughout his career. In 1984, when we wanted to see the site, we came, N.T. Ramarao was coming in June, and we only had like May 28th, we had given the contract. Prior to that, myself and Dr. Muniratnam, we took the address of this site, from Dr. Chandra Reddy, and we drove. There is no entrance from the Lemont Road. It is a culvert only. So we had to walk through the creek and then come up to this level. While coming, it was heavy rain, so he had an umbrella. We both walked up, and then and at the Rama temple area, when we were walking, it's all like a clay. And then even I lost one shoe there, and he was able to pick it up and give it to me. And he was such a humble person. I have never seen a devotee so humble. So he touched your heart the moment you see him. So that is the pleasant personality he had. And later on, he was also not for any position or power. In 1989, 1990, there was a situation where a president did a great job, but we needed to give him a second-year presidency. The nomination committee didn't want him to be a 4-year trustee, but only 1-year trustee. To be a president, you have to be trustee. So the moment Dr. Muniratnam heard that one, he came to me and said, I'm going to resign. I'm going to tell the nomination committee, I don't need to be in the board, because my goal is to serve the devotees, the needs of the devotees, and help the priests. So this is where my heart is. So see, this is the greatness of Dr. Muniratnam, and I really commend his efforts. Of course, there are so many volunteers in this organization. Name it Prasadam Committee, Maintenance Committee, Religious Committee, Building Committee. All of these are volunteers working hard every day and day out. And so that is how this temple came up. With only 70,000 in the bank account and the land of 18 acres in 1977 and then 1984, now we have grown to multi-million-dollar facility. It all happened because of the volunteers like you, volunteers like Dr. Muniratnam Valathur. I pay tribute to him. In Telugu, Tyagaraja has said, Yendaro Mahanbhavalu, Andariki na Vandanalu. Here, Yendaro, the devotees, so many devotees, so many volunteers. For all those volunteers, I offer my salutations. At the same time, I request all of you to join me and the family of Dr. Muniratnam Valathur to pay tribute to Dr. Muniratnam Valathur. And again, I thank Dr. Chandra Reddy for asking me to come and talk about it. And it is my honor. I thank all of you. Thank you.
President Gopal Srinivasan would like to come pay tribute to Muniratnam's family.
I have a lot of fond memories of Muniratnam. I remember the Kumbhabhishekam. All children got pizza, him and my wife. I was involved in that. There were 40 cartons to empty before next morning. It was already like 11 o'clock. He bagged everything with me, both for stay till 1 o'clock in the morning. Make sure it was clear and clean on the 4th day. It's a very, very memorable. If I had to think about one person who didn't want name or fame, help beyond everything as a person, that's him. And he was born in 1941. He was an engineer. He did his bachelor's degree in Anantapur. Then he did his master's in Bangalore. He did his PhD in civil engineering, and then he did a fellowship in New Mexico, Albuquerque. Lord Rama sent him here to serve this temple. Anywhere you need him, he'll be there. I'd like to take this moment to introduce his family. His wife, Mrs. Salah Muniratnam. Please give them a big hand. Their sons are here too. Mani, Uttam and Anand, and Dr. Vijaya, and 2 special children, Sridevi and Srimati. You should have seen the grandchildren and the youth today. They are very bold like that. They have no stage fear. They sang, and it was a wonderful feeling to see everything is still there and will continue to stay. And we would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for being here. And I will hand over the microphone to Prasad. to take the next event.
Thank you, Dr. Gopal Srinivasan, for paying that deserving tribute to Dr. Muniratnam and his family, which they well deserve. Now finally, the event we are all eagerly waiting for a month or so again. Keynote speech by Dr. Subramanian. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Subramanian Swami. Dr. Swami accomplished more in one lifetime than most people will not be able to do in 100 lifetimes. Dr. Swami's accomplishments are too numerous to list. To begin with, Dr. Swami is a Harvard scholar and taught many years there. His fight to raise human values to new heights begins with emergency of Indira Gandhi. Dr. Swami, a free speech advocate who courageously took on Indian government when people feared reprisal by the government. His dramatic appearance and disappearance from the Indian Parliament and his statement, "Democracy died," has inspired millions of those emergency. Today, Dr. Swami is again at that fight, at the forefront of taking on the government, misdeeds on behalf of the people of India, leading the fight against corruption called 2G scam. I don't know if you heard, I want to copy a Dr. Swami's line here. Somebody asked Manmohan Singh, what is 2G? And Manmohan Ji said, all I know is Rahul Ji and Sonia Ji. That's Dr. Swami's line, I stole it. My association with Dr. Swami has strengthened the movement of Global Hindu Heritage Foundation. Global Hindu Heritage Foundation stands to repeal Hindu Endowment Act. We want people to manage just like this temple, managed by the people, for the people. We want to do that. But that opportunity is not there in Andhra Pradesh, India. We at Global Hindu Heritage Foundation are immensely thankful to Dr. Swami. Without his support, it will not be as it is today, become an international movement, repealing the Hindu Endowment Act. Dr. Swami came to speak twice at Tirupati. First time we did walkathon, rather Padayatra from Basra to Tirupati, 3,000 kilometers, and we brought in hundreds and millions of people awareness about Hindu temple situation. The second time from Sri Gurvam to Tirupati, this time we brought awareness for 10 million people. That means either through media, through newspaper and all this stuff, but Dr. Swami was there again to speak. And Dr. Swami has always been a great supporter. Again, he came third time to Hyderabad to lead our delegation to negotiate with Dr. Rajasekhar Reddy, then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. As a result of that, the Andhra government has released 30,000 temples from the government control. At that time, by a beautiful order. Unfortunately, Dr. Rajasekhar did not see it to be implemented. And thank you, Dr. Swami. We salute you for all you did for this wonderful cause. It only took 50 people to break windows of IMAX theater in Hyderabad. And then they to ban Da Vinci Code in Hyderabad. But we could all see all over the world Da Vinci Code, but not in India. Yet, it took 1.4 million people, Hindus, to demonstrate against destruction of Ram Setu and did not achieve the same result until Dr. Subramanya Swamy went to court and he brought the stop destruction of Ram Setu. Ladies and gentlemen, what ails Hinduism? That is, Hindus do not take a stand against injustice. That is what is wrong with Hindu. That is what ails Hinduism. Dr. Swamy stands up for what is right. Edmund Burke once said, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for the good man to do nothing. That is what is happening. Dr. Swamy does not fight only for Hindu causes. He fights for all people, irrespective of their religion. Dr. Swamy is the leader of all Indians, not Hindus, not Muslims, not just one section only. Dr. Swamy is the only leader that has fasted for the sake of Muslims in Hastinapur when several people got killed. There is no other secular, unsecular leader did this. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for standing up for all people of India. Dr. Swamy also believes the people of India all have the same DNA, irrespective of their religion, caste. That makes all Indians as brothers. Dr. Swamy brilliantly stated, India is a nation of Hindus or their ancestors are Hindus. If you do not accept that, you are denying scientific fact. Latest research showed DNA, everybody has the same DNA in India, no matter who you are. Finally, Dr. Swamy always talks about how Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Swamigal, the sage of Kanchimat, changed his life, who had tremendous influence on him. You had tremendous influence on him. Now, I say, Dr. Swamy, Dharmacharya had influenced your life. You, Dr. Swamy, influenced our life, made us Hindus proud of our heritage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Subramanya Swamy, my Dharmacharya. What is Hinduism, Hindu society? How to energize it? Dr. Subramanya Swamy, what is Hindu society? How to energize it? My Dharmacharya.
I'm not a genuine Swami, just by name Swami. Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Srinivasan, Dr. Reddy, Prasad Yalamanchi, Muniratnam's family, and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I am privileged to give this memorial lecture in honor of a true son of India, Dr. Muniratnam, because of whom this temple today stands in its glory. I will be speaking to you today about the topic given to me, which is what is Hindu society and how to cure it. Well, in simplistic terms, what ails Hindu society is our ignorance of Hinduism. And what is the cure is a renaissance in our religion, which is long overdue, and a inculcation of the spirit of Hindutva. Hindutva means Hindu-ness. It is not anything more than the Hindu values which we have, such as accepting all religions leading to God. Nobody can quarrel with that. Such as viewing that every human being has freedom of action, even if he doesn't have the right to expect a reward in proportion to that action. Hinduism also means the law of karma, and that this karma gets transferred into another birth when you are reborn because you were not able to pay for or enjoy the benefits of your karma. Hinduism is the only religion which says that if you follow the right discipline, then you can see God in this life. All other religions say no. You will see God after you die. So there is a concept of Hinduism where certain Hindu qualities are to be imbibed, and that is what you call as Hindutva. I have written recently a book called Hindutva and National Renaissance, where I have dealt with this whole aspect in all its dimensions, including the constitutional dimension. And so maybe Yalamanchi can get some more copies of the new book, because Hindus are under siege. Now we have crossed that. We know we are under siege. What is to be done? I will organize my lecture as if it's a business school lecture, in terms of what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat for Hindu society. And out of that analysis, I will suggest the cure. What is the strength of Hinduism? Well, first of all, the major strength of Hinduism is its durability. It's the longest living religion in the world. And it's also the only religion which has survived brutality for 1,000 years and still in overwhelming numbers in our country. When I was teaching at Harvard, I had a Saudi Arabian student who asked me whether after class he could ask me a question which had nothing to do with the course material. So after class he asked me this question, that his university is undertaken a project on the spread of Islam, and they wanted me to answer one question for which they could not find any good book to be able to answer. And the question was this, that Islam went to Iran when the Parsis or the Zoroastrians were ruling, conquered that country, and within 15 years they converted Iran into 100% Islamic country. Then they went to the neighboring countries, Mesopotamia and Babylon, which is now called Iraq. And in 17 years they converted that whole country to 100% Muslim. And later on they went to Egypt. In 21 years they converted Egypt to 100% Muslim. Christians went to Europe and converted the whole of Europe to Christianity in 50 years. But Islam ruled India with all its brutality for 800 years. Thereafter Christianity through the British ruled India for 200 years. With all the efforts of the British to wipe out Sanskrit, wipe out our true history, And yet, after all that, what we know as India today, we are 83% Hindu, so they want to know why. Even undivided India was 75% Hindu. Why is it that everywhere else there was total conversion from two very fiercely proselytizing religions? And these two turn by turn ruled India. And yet the Hindus did not convert, except a few. A small number, relatively small number. So this is the tribute to the durability of Hinduism. And that is because, contrary to the popular impression, Hindus fought, opposed it. Some lost everything and still opposed it. Like Rana Pratap. He ended up in a forest in the end, eating chapati made out of grass. Or there were heroes, valorous people like Shivaji, Guru Gobind Singh, who then ended up fighting, and at least for a certain period they liberated those areas which they conquered. Let us not forget that today we will not be Hindus but for one individual in the recent 300 years, and that's Guru Tegh Bahadur, who didn't die, or his head was not cut off by Aurangzeb because he was protesting against the Sikh religion being treated badly by Islam. But he took a stand on behalf of Brahmins whom Aurangzeb said could not wear the jinev, the thread. And for that reason he stood, watched his disciples being sawed into half, and he himself boiled. They then boiled, and then his own head was chopped. But he didn't yield. He said no. He was asked by Aurangzeb to convert and escape. But Tegh Bahadur did not yield. And so let us not forget the sacrifice of Guru Tegh Bahadur, for whom today we can call ourselves Hindu. It is because of Guru Tegh Bahadur. Then the second strength of Hinduism, our Hindu society, is our continuity. We are the longest surviving civilization. How long I can say? At least 10,000 years. Some people say that Ram Setu is 1,75,000 years ago. Could be, I can't say. But at least 10,000 years I can say. Because some of the geologists have said it is not less than 10,000 years. Now, even 10,000 years is such a long history, and is continuing unbroken. The way we behaved, the way we dressed, even today, is more or less the same. The way we worshipped, same. Because it's a special feature of Hinduism. It is not based on a prophet. It is not based on one book, and is not based on one central religious place. In fact, the most scientific approach to religion, if you want, it's the Hindu religion. These are experiences of the rishis which have been converted into books, and those are divided into two parts: revealed knowledge, which is called Shruti, and codes of behavior, which is called Smriti. And codes of behavior can be changed. What Manu wrote could be changed by Yajnavalkya. What Yajnavalkya wrote, Mitapshara could change. So when Mayavati kept telling me Manuvadi, Manuvadi, I said, where are you living? There's no Manuvadi. If you want, we can have a Mayavadi also. Because codes of behavior have been set can be changed over a period of time. And that is why it's very difficult for Hindus to be fundamentalists. Because there is no one book to say we will follow that. You see, when in Bible it was said that the earth was flat and the sun went around the earth, and Galileo said, no, that's not quite so. They made his life miserable, put him in prison, tortured him. And ultimately he recanted. He said, okay, Bible is right and I'm wrong. But Hindus have never said that the sun goes around the earth. They have always said the earth goes around the sun, because we discovered the astronomy so long ago. So as a consequence, we find that every concept is tested in Hinduism according to the observed reality, and makes it a scientific religion. That's why fundamentalism is not possible, because fundamentalists, you have to believe in something that is said in the book. There is no book. We have many books. It's like a cafeteria. Hinduism is like a cafeteria. Go and take whichever dish you want. You can even be a non-believer in God, Gnostic in Hinduism. So this flexibility is another feature which is meant why we are which is another feature which makes Hinduism strong. And this continuity is based on scientific structure of its theology. Now, finally, another strength of Hinduism, which we are in danger of losing, it is the view of society, which is an integral view. When I was a student at Harvard, when I first went to get my PhD, my classmate, an American, asked me, can I ask you one question? I said, what is it? He said, why you Indians followed Mahatma Gandhi? So I said, why, what's wrong with Mahatma Gandhi? He said, he doesn't dress properly. How can you follow a person who doesn't even dress properly? Yes, it's true that Gandhi just put a little langoti and he went around bare-chested and so on. And then I thought about it. I asked him, do you think in your country leaders have to be very well dressed? He said, yes, they must wear fine ties, lovely starched shirts, coat, shining shoes. Otherwise, we will not accept them as leader. Nixon lost the election to Kennedy partly because he didn't shave properly in the national debates. It's there in Theodore White's book. That one of the reasons Nixon lost is that compared to Kennedy, who came after a bath, very well dressed, Nixon came with a 5 p.m. shadow, as they say. Similarly, there are religious leaders in the West. They are also dressed in pomp. See the Pope, he's a satin gown, diamond necklace, ruby necklace, sapphire necklace. Look at the cape he wears, it's full of jewels. But look at our sadhus. You take the Swami Dayanand Saraswati, or you take Swami Chandrasekhar Saraswati, or any of them, Sri Ravi Shankar, Baba Ramdev. All these people just in the simplest possible, with minimum ordinary quality cloth in Bhagwa color. Of course, some can use white also, like Sri Ravi Shankar and the Nath Sampradaya and so on. But it's always very simple. It's not that they don't have money, it's not that they cannot afford the fineries, but they don't. How did this come about? It came about by a stable structuring of society between two rishis, Bhrigu and Bhardwaj. Rishi Bhrigu said that there are 4 sources of power in a society. One is knowledge, second is weapons, third is wealth, and fourth is land. And he said that for a stable society, you should decentralize power so that no one person has more than one source of power. So those with knowledge cannot have weapons, cannot have wealth, cannot have land. They were called Maharishis or Brahmins. Those with wealth, those with weapons could be kings, but policy making, they will have to go to the Brahmin, wash his feet and ask for a direction of what is to be done. And those with wealth, there was nothing wrong with making wealth, but unless you engaged in philanthropy, you were not provided any status in society. Same thing with those with land, they must produce for the people. And those who were pushed out of society and were called later on as scheduled caste, their children were not scheduled caste. Valmiki's parents were scheduled caste, but he himself was a Maharishi who wrote the Ramayana. In fact, birth had nothing to do with this Varna system that we devised. It was a decentralization of power system where you venerated the person with knowledge and sacrifice to the top. And that's why Gandhi, Jayaprakash, all our sadhu sannyasis, they are venerated because of the sacrifice that they represent. Why we worship Rana Pratap, who lost the battle, ended up eating chapatis made out of grass, or Rani Jhansi, or Subhash Chandra Bose, or Kata Bomman in Tamil Nadu, or Rani Chennamma in Karnataka. Even though they lost the battle, they were not winners, but they represented sacrifice and courage. That's why we venerated them. So, therefore, this structuring of society is unique because other societies, material wealth is the determination of your social status. Here it is not. It is sacrifice and knowledge which was the determinant of your social status. And everything else had to be subservient to that. Today, when people talk about corruption, they say, why is corruption increasing so much? It is because we are forgetting this. Now money is becoming everything. Social status is dependent on how much wealth you have, then there is going to be greed. If there is going to be greed, there is going to be corruption. And therefore, this Sanatan Dharma concept that you must achieve material prosperity with a harmonization of advancement of spiritual values, that is what has kept us continuing growing, and this is one of our pillars of our strength. Now we come to the question of our weakness. And there, our weakness is our strength also. Our strength is our individualism. There is nothing to say that you must follow this prophet or this church or this book. You can follow Upanishads if you want, you can follow Vedanta if you want. You can believe in Vishnu and not in Shiva, or you can believe in both. You need not go to a temple, you can worship at home. So all these freedoms that Hinduism has given to our society has become a weakness also. Because we have forgotten that there was a condition behind every freedoms that was given. Chanakya was the first one who articulated it. He said that the country will be decentralized and they will be divided into thousands of janapadas, almost like our district of today. But when there is an emergency, when there is a war, we'll all become one and there will be a Chakravarti who we will follow. That is his formulation of our society. As long as we are not attacked, as long as there is no war, complete freedom to do what you like. But we forgot this part. Today we are carrying our individualism to such an extent that we don't understand that this society is under attack. And we have to therefore work with the Chakravarti. Chakravarti need not be an individual, it could be a concept also. It could be an organization also. But we have to unite to fight. That we don't do. We have got what is called as the Kumbh Mela mentality. I went to Haridwar recently when the Kumbh Mela was there. 1 crore people had come. I found everybody came on their own. I asked them, did you see some newspaper advertisement that you came on this particular day? They said, no, we see our Panchanga ourselves and came. 1 crore people come on their own arrangement, no subsidy like for Hajj, you see. Spending their own money, coming, 1 crore people assembled in Hardwar. No acts of violence, no thief, no robbery, nothing. But having collected, I asked them, did you collect because you are all Hindus or something else? I found most of them came because their daughter was not getting married, so they thought if they come to Kumbh Mela, maybe God will give them the daughter to be married. Or some promotion is being held up, so it's the promotion. So all become my personal relations with God. So I am making all this sacrifice. I am going to Amarnath, I am going to Vaishno Devi because I have some problem and I want God to respect my sacrifice or my tapasya in going all the way. This personalization of Hinduism is okay up to a point. But when Hinduism itself is under attack, that's when a collective mind must emerge. What Chanakya called as Chakravarti. So we have to therefore work on that basis. The second problem is we have become too